Hello everyone, and welcome back. I am Count Christo, and this is the Best of Both Worlds campaign. We are crushing into the Soviet Union, doing heavy damage to Allied shipping at sea. Even our allies managing to provide some cover while we destroy some of their subs, devilishly trying to come into my lake. Over here, did we manage to sink it in the end? It might get away. But some of our men, unfortunately, went out to sea and will pay the price with their lives. But I'm hoping the enemy will pay the price with some light cruisers. Over in the Americas, enemy attempts to gain a foothold have repeatedly been held back, though I think I will strengthen that garrison. Actually, they took Trinidad! I didn't notice that before. Venezuela took Trinidad. That's spectacular. Well done. Nice. That's awesome. In Brussels, we recently did a big push, wiped out a bunch of them. We're now in bad supply zone here, but a bunch of these guys should be leaving the zone, so we should be in a bit of a better spot once they've done that. The tank numbers over here have proved themselves that now we have light air support. They are probably excessive, but I don't really know where else I want them. So what I think I'm going to do is just pull a few of them back from the very, very front. Like so. And then just leave them there. And if they're needed, we'll put them back in. If we find a big, determined Soviet resistance, then we may send them back. But for now, not needed. You don't have a... Oh, right, they're on a fallback line. You guys are on a fallback line? Ah, yes, of course. The potential Turkish fallback line. I think, you know... Maybe enough is enough. Maybe we should help the Turks over here. What are the Turkish casualties at right now? Only 500,000. Well, actually, only 500. That's half as many as me. I realized, by the way, we're totally fighting World War I. And in more ways, I mean, you know, Christo, that's obvious. You're playing as the German Empire and fighting on two fronts. But it's more than that. Back and forth, constant struggles in almost exactly the right place. I think Wipers, you know, Yeep, is what, here somewhere? Or is it a bit deeper in? Maybe it's here. But still, I think we're in almost exactly the right place for the constant back and forth. Fighting here, stagnant along most of the rest of the front. I mean, basically stagnant here as well. And then, you know, big wars of movement in the east. It's great. It's basically exactly the First World War. Okay, go ahead. It's great. It's basically exactly the First World War. That's a phrase that wouldn't sound good out of context. So we're going to activate all these battle plans. Still try to micro pockets when we find them, but just to make them move forward until we meet resistance. Okay. Free military factories, something I haven't heard for a while. I would like more flak? No. Let's make a longer term play. More mediums? We got plenty of self-propelled artillery. Let's actually do the maths that I should have done earlier. And say, hey, these medium tank anti-air, they require 22 for every 200 medium tanks. And the production cost of a... can't really... There we go. The production cost of these versus these is what? And then work out how many factories we need on each on average, assuming they have the same production efficiency. And both will have full resources. If that's a bit fast of an explanation, don't worry about it. We're just going to figure out how many light tanks and how many self-propelled we're going to build. So... They both cost 14. That's very convenient. Which means for every 700 factories we have on medium tanks, we need 24 tanks on medium self-propelled anti-air. Or to put that into more comprehensible numbers, for every 30 factories we have on medium tanks, we need 1 on medium self-propelled anti-air. If we just use this template, which I think we will, because it proved itself very effective. We could even maybe remove 1, but I don't really want to. So for every 30, it's actually 29 point something, but for every 30, I'm not just a god, by the way, or a savant or whatever, I used a calculator. For every 30 we have, we need 1 on this. Good lord, are we overproducing on these. So give me a little switch around there. There we go. So those spare factories we'll put back onto plane production because our oil situation, well, maybe we won't actually, because I want oil to start reinforcing the Kriegsmarine again. I really haven't liked the fact that we've had no oil to spend on all of these for so long. We've had our naval production essentially shut down since the Allied blockade came into effect. It's not really the blockade that's stopping us, really. It's the embargo, you know. It's quite a violent embargo, but I suppose you could think of it as an embargo. We also have the men spare that we... I don't think we should invade Sweden. I think we should invade Sweden once we've finished with the Soviets. Apart from anything else, it'll give us another front. Apart from anything else, maybe we could kill Norway first by a lovely fight all the way through these mountains. That would be brilliant, along whatever, they're like 1,500-mile trip straight through mountains. Yeah, more of these. So every 30 we need one, so that's 4. 4 factories we'd need. So there we go. Good. Anything else? I don't really want to ramp up plane production, honestly. I really don't. Because of the oil situation, like I say. So I guess... What are we actually looking a little short on? Well, anti-air, we're looking kind of short right now, but we're making a lot. And we're going to be making double what we're making right now. So I think that's more than enough. Let's make a lot more... Yeah, let's make a... motorized also takes oil. But let's make a lot more motorized. And a lot more support equipment. Getting ready for putting signals maybe in all the infantry. And maybe a bit more artillery. I mean, we've probably got plenty, haven't we? Yeah, but still. We probably want some... Yeah, we want upgraded artillery 2 years ago. It's one of the many, many things that we'd love to research. We could also blow the Suez Canal, but we'll only do that if it looks like we're going to lose it. Welsben has been wounded. The fall of Kiev, another victory for the Vaterland. Glorious. They're not advancing as fast as they could if I manually control them all the way along the front, which, once again, demonstrates the old axiom. There is no reason to activate battle plans except laziness. Because if we just did this manually, you know, it would be faster and we would inflict more casualties because we would notice all the pushes. And we would notice all the guys we could catch out. Look at that. Without your precious air cover, what are you, huh? Just a bunch of damn allies with nowhere to go. Jet aircraft. Fantastic. So we can look forward to allied planes flying from England, destroying my ships across the world. Naval invasion, but minor. That's a dangerous naval invasion. Maybe we've got early warning of a bigger one coming up here. Entirely plausible. Plausible. Yes, that's what I meant to say. Plausible and possible. Both at the same time. Send a few more guys up here, although obviously the Black Sea is about to become another Axis lake. Oh, hello, Soviets. I'd rather you didn't go away. Just stay there just a second. That would be lovely. Ah, more Soviets. Okay, maybe meeting their front line now. Maybe it's going to be just here. We'll see. That one encircled. Good. See, that's the problem, you know. We activated the front line, so that guy is not going to be encircled. At least not right now. Planes-wise, on the Axis front, I say forget it, basically. We don't need them. And so I'm not going to use them. I'm going to send them all to Berlin. And then we'll see. We'll see where we want to send them, if anywhere, for a little bit. I would like to continue supporting my... I've done no interceptions in the last few months. Probably because the Axis removed their planes, would be my guess. Not because the Axis... no, this one's still here. Interesting. Good. Pushing fine in the north. Oh, you even got a little easy pocket, and you can rush out there. If they don't defend Leningrad, I'm going to be quite surprised. Don't push them back, you fool. Do this instead. Okay. Men have deployed. Some more Romanians. Let's put them down here. We lost quite a few men in our blocking force to the Allied ship convoy raiding. You guys are still heading over here? Honestly, at this point, it might be safer for you to do that than to turn back. So, sure. Go for it, I guess. I love that they took Trinidad. That's so good. The Venezuelans fighting their own local little war. It's funny considering the fact that, you know, this huge war we're fighting. There's all these little theaters in it. Obviously, Turkey, you know, the minds of the people and government of Turkey are, you know, rigidly focused on this front and this front alone, while this huge greater conflict rages around them. It's just interesting to me. No longer intercepting. Are we running an air supply mission with no one in it? No, that's just a button to run air supply if you have it in range. Okay. Supply here, still not great, because the infrastructure is doomed. But I don't really want to repair it, honestly, because if the Allies were standing on this front, one of their big problems would be they won't be able to get enough supply to their front. Although they do use like a stupid amount less supply because they have the bonuses. When I say a stupid amount, I'm not complaining about the bonus. I'm just saying, you know, it's a lot. Be a bit weird to complain about the bonus considering I gave it to them. American tanks, eh? Let's see how they stand up to glorious German engineering, shall we? All right, bring them north. Let's see how your mass-produced tanks do against my... Okay, also mass-produced tanks, but still. Basically, we're just going to do our best to encircle them before we actually engage them directly. Same here. Just go round. Always go round. Good. Oh, hello, Soviets. What is that defensive line? That is a confusing line. They're attacking across the Maginot Line, but not determined. In a determined way. I feel like they could almost certainly push across the Maginot Line if they really gave it their all through our west wall, but we have men relatively nearby we could move into to defend it, so... Good lord, they have 33 divisions here. I wonder if that's an invade. That's probably a naval invasion plan, isn't it? Yeah. Interesting. Or people waiting to go somewhere where there's not enough supply. That's also plausible. Pocket there. Oh, this is the pocket, actually. You can flee that way. Improved radar. Nice. Should probably get the artillery upgrade, maybe. But we're not using almost any artillery, so I feel like it's not worth spending the time researching this, honestly. Maybe just even better radar. Whoa, what? Static anti-air hit chance factor. What? I didn't know that was a thing. How long's that been in the game? Probably ages. Alright, awesome. That's going to be really helpful. Are we going to build moderns, by the way? Probably not, because we'd have to kill our production efficiency by like 90%. And they're not that much better. I mean, they are a lot better, but they're not... I don't think they're 90% better. Plus, they cost chromium. Although, chromium... We can import a lot from Turkey. But no, I think they'd cost too much chromium. It would stop costing tungsten, but I have a sneaking suspicion our tungsten woes are going to come to an end. We've got some here. There's some... Isn't it somewhere down here? Isn't there a bunch? Is that it? I swear there's more than that somewhere in the Soviets. Well, anyway, once the Soviets fall, Sweden is going to be easy pickings. Even if we just come from the north simultaneously on Turkey and Norway, and just take to here, we'll be in suddenly phenomenal positions to capture a lot of Soviet oil. Alright, tanks. Encircle and destroy. The micro-pocketing continues. Alright, some French guys here. You really feel like you have bigger problems. We'll attack them directly just to try and keep them still. Oh no, they're too weak for that. We'll let them move north a bit then. Here, I know. We'll let them move north. And then just put them into a slightly larger pocket. Like that. Beautiful. Leningrad's undefended. It's going to be glorious. Cowards. The cowards are still falling back. They do have... we've taken sufficient land. They're going to be able to get that defense bonus by decision soon. Is it called Order... Whatever it was? 227? Is it 227? This is the bit we have to be careful with, because front lines just move past Crimea and leave it open sometimes. So, what do we want with this tech? I mean, resource extraction is just so valuable. It helps every area. I didn't actually start doing this. We should try to do this. Our anti-air has been valuable to us. Recon. Recon would be lovely. I mean, defense is okay, but I don't know. Mountaineers probably not. I think recon is what's coming up right now. This, but I mean, we just don't have the planes for it. We're managing without them. Getting encryption, always good. There should be a behind time bonus, I think. So catching up on things would be easier. Could get better naval bombers. They'll be useful. Yeah, let's get better CAS. Because we haven't got many factories on CAS right now, and as we begin to ramp it up, the numbers we have on it, it would be nice for the production efficiency to be growing on something we actually Really want it to grow on in the long run, i.e. the next Cass, rather than the old version. Stalino, just in from Stalingrad. Not Stalingrad. Stalingrad. I wonder if that was just a coincidence or if that was also named after Stalin. Doing a bit of an Alexander the Great there. Okay, keep up the micro-pocketing. Kursk, we should have a tank battle there. US tanks, would you mind moving south a bit so we can make it historical? They don't seem to like the idea. There's Novigrad. Don't try and tell me it's not Novigrad. It's obviously Novigrad. I know it's Novigrad, but the Witcher series, it's obviously based off that city. Good, pushing in here. But then I've said that before, and people haven't believed me. So, not that particular one, but things in the Witcher. Anyway, we're playing HOI right now. Still holding fine over here. The French not prepared to deploy into Belgium. In my headcanon again, you know, they built the extended Maginot Line, and then the Belgians broke off their alliance with France, which led to the French in the long term deciding they weren't going to support the Belgians, excuse me. You guys have an attack plan. Ooh, good. Kursk encirclement imminent. Don't do that. Just go round. Always be going round. A-B-G-R. Agrr. And it doesn't really work, does it? Okay, so I'm going to guess that this is a bit of an issue. Yeah, we need 6 there. We need... what was that, 6? Yeah. 8 here. That was lucky. We're going to need some up here. How many? Just the 2? We could also port defend this area. But they just haven't naval invaded us here at all. That I'm kind of reluctant to really fully commit to properly navally defending it. You military police deploy to the fallback. Doesn't have any ready yet. What I'll do is I'll just spread out these ones. I'm not convinced there's going to be an internal invasion in this region. Not at all. I'm really reluctant to take these guys out. Maybe that's what I should do with the new Romanians that are deploying. Same in the Black Sea. There's been no naval invasions in the Black Sea, and it's very soon to be closed off. So let's just use these guys. I deploy the military police before I deploy the port defenders, in case you're wondering. Because it means if you ever remove the port defenders because you control the whole coastline, you don't need to fiddle with the military police. And the military police are so cheap, both in terms of infantry equipment, for that's all cavalry uses, and in terms of manpower, because they're just little tiny 5-wits, that it really doesn't bother me too much. We could try using the auto military police thing, you know, the garrison order. I haven't tried it that recently. They're trying to hold on to Sevastopol. That's interesting, considering there's, you know, no one here. So this looks like the shambles of their fallback line, but I kind of don't believe it. How do they have this few men? Maybe they're deeper in, I guess, but... And our lines are getting, you know, overextended, but... Thing about HOI, one of the things about HOI that makes it unlike a real war, is that you can fall back trivially easily without losing over large distances. Not in kind of close quarters combat, like here when you're trying to retreat 1 or 2 provinces, that's not easy. But over here, you can retreat 1,000 miles and lose no equipment. Historically, to retreat 1,000 miles in a matter of days is unthinkable. It would require, without taking massive losses anyway. I mean, 1,000 miles maybe in a few days would be unthinkable, even with taking massive losses. And the losses would not necessarily be personnel, although it would also be that. It would be all the equipment that you had to haul back. You know, crazy, crazy amounts of the stuff that you'd be losing. Let's build a lot more tanks. And I know that's kind of contrary to not putting factories on planes because we want the oil to go to the things, but the tanks are just serving us so well right now. And we are in a big deficit. Just marching through Russia. It is November. Always with the Russian winter attacks. Well, Leningrad is essentially undefended, so... I mean, time to take Leningrad. And bits of Finland. Right, Finland's an ally! Cool! We're going to liberate Finland. I like it. I completely forgot they were an ally for a second there. You just rush past. It's not coming here. But we'll get Leningrad, which was what matters. And plus, I think we'll get Viipuri if we take it from this side. Yes? No, it did go to Finland. Right. Because Finland has cores on it. I guess it always goes to an ally's cores. There's the anti-air upgrade. Nice. From 15 to 17.1. It's better. And this is going to make it a lot better. Plus static anti-air damage factor. I didn't know about that either. Cool. Sorry, don't attack them there and break them. Just go past. ABGP. GP. Always be going past. Okay, Moscow is well within reach now. We're bulldozing through. Haven't really met a proper Soviet offensive. It looks like there might be something here, but I'm guessing maybe it's a bit further back. Or maybe they're just, you know, really trying to knock Turkey out of the war or something. I don't know. Thank you very, very much for watching. In the next episode, I strongly suspect we'll take Moscow. It looks like they don't have a response. After years of battering on our line, egged on by calls from the Allies that they just needed to divert a little more of our attention and the Allies would break through and end the war. The Soviets' strength is all but spent defense of Moscow, but too late. They have manpower, but they do not have the... well, we've got no intel on them, actually, so it's kind of difficult to say if they have the equipment to man these men. I can see it here. See, not bad strength. You know, 76% considering the length of the time they spent attacking us, but a lot of factories and a lot of land is about to be ours. In the next episode. See you then. Bye-bye.